Hamzambo family, welcome to the Blackwood Financial Rhythm Scoop Show on yet another wonderful day, the 27th day of October, the year 2021. How are you feeling? I hope that you are doing well, and I hope that this day finds you in good health, because on the Blackwood Financial, we like to emphasize every other minute that your health is your wealth. And in case you're not taking care of your wealth, you need health, you need to go back and reevaluate your goals so that you are also able to enjoy your wealth when you make it. I've seen many people, especially during these COVID season, the COVID pandemic season, are really letting themselves go. You know, you find someone really staying in the house, not even finding some time to work out. And many people have even found excuses that, you know, the gyms have been condoned off, you cannot go and share equipment at the gym and all these are different kind of things. But I hope that you are looking after your health, and you are also staying optimistic and positive about everything. My name is Spikes, alongside my co-host Kate and Zobi.
Yeah, karibuni sana right here on the Blackwood Fire Radio Media for the 21st century. This is the Rhythm Scoop Show. Another episode we get to discuss about entertainment, art and culture, as always. The same time, the same place, and we are all about bringing you positive vibes. As we say, you can interact with us on our social media handles. You can find us on Facebook at the Blackwood Fire Network Radio Station, on Twitter at the Blackwood Fire Network. Use the hashtag WCW because it is that day, yeah? You know, that day of appreciating we, the women. And of course, you can also slide on the Instagram and also get to, you know, share your handles, rather than just interact with us on the matters that we have for you today. You can also give us a call at the +25475440273 and just a free advice to the ladies. You know, I've seen so many ladies saying that you know, I don't want to be single, I want to have a man in my life, but you are an introvert type of person. So get out of there. Today the WCW, and of course in Nairobi, you know, there's no curfew. You don't know about where you're listening to us from, but get out there and get yourself a man. My name is Jovi. Karibuni sana.
Hey. That's a relationship expert. Go on,
don't forget that.
Hello everyone, I hope you're fine. Welcome to our show for today. And I'm looking forward to an amazing show with you. I hope your day is going well, your week is going well, and I hope you have a woman to celebrate. As Joby said, today is on a Wednesday where we get to celebrate women. And in case you don't have a woman, just celebrate me. I wouldn't mind.
I do hope that every other weekend, every other week you're going to be hearing Kate tell you to celebrate her. I don't know why she feels that she wants to celebrate her.
I love myself.
Every other Wednesday. But thank you so much, family, for joining us on the broadcast. It's always a vibe when you get to connect with us right here on the Blackwood Fire Network. And of course, being on a Wednesday, apart from all these other things that have to do with the women crush or the Wadada crush or whatever, I want to just go briefly into the origin of the word Wednesday, because Wednesday is a wooden day. It actually came from a wooden day, or wooden, which is all Odin, who was the ruler of Norse gods, Riam, and associated with wisdom, magic, victory, and death. The Romans connected wooden to Mercury because they were both guides of our souls after death. Wednesday comes from the Old English Wednesday. Okay. You know, English comes from German, so that is why you will see Wednesday. They say Old English was really German. If you get to ask me, and English is a bastardized form of German, and that is why I might not be able to have my pronunciation on point with Wednesday. But all these other days of the week, they have their own ancient meanings, and some of them are associated with these ancient gods or these demigods. And you do find that every other day we are talking about Wednesday or Tuesday, we are giving a reference to a given god, or we are giving sort of like a shout out, not really a shout out, but we are giving a reverence to a certain god, even without our knowledge. I would wonder what people in the Asian community used to call Wednesday, or even used to call this the third day of the week. But I do hope that wherever you are using words, you also do put in some effort to go back and find out what are you talking about. Because right now you're talking about Odin, or the ruler of the Norse gods. The realm is associated with wisdom and magic and victory and even death. So you might even be invoking death, or invoking victory, or invoking magic, or invoking wisdom. All these other elements that this god is associated with on Wednesday. I remember there was a movie I saw. It was known as what was the name of this movie that had a god known as a Wednesday? American Gods. That was the name of the American Gods. I don't know if any of us have actually watched the American Gods. But the American Gods, there was two. Let me just get the name of that character. There was a guy who played the Wednesday. His name was Wednesday on the American Gods. Let me see. He's a very, very popular character. Let me just get the name of this character. I think he has acted in so many films. They used to call him Mr. Wednesday. He was actually known as Mr. Wednesday.
Okay.
And he's a crafty and a charismatic conman on that particular film. But I think it came into the second episode. I believe it came into the second episode. Sorry, the second season. And I did not follow up to see what was going on with the second season. His name is Ian McShane. That is a guy I was talking about. He was playing as Mr. Wednesday, all the god of victory and death on that particular film. So I do not know about too much about the other days, Thursday and Friday. But perhaps tomorrow, if you stick here with us, you will also be finding out what Thursday and Friday means, and also what allegiance, what gods these names are giving allegiance to. Today we shall also be focusing on different matters from across the continent of Africa. Dee plays a song by Omale, and I understand that Omale this weekend is expected to perform in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm not sure whether Kate Nzobi has been invited to that particular concert.
Oh, we wish.
Everybody was invited, but the man, woo.
That's a problem, because they are actually saying it's for 2 days. That concert will happen for 2 days on Kiambu Road. I do not really remember the name of that venue, but it's going to happen for 2 days on Saturday, which is the 30th, and also on the 31st. There is a whole lot of a lineup of other artists who shall also be performing. I believe some of them include Viri, the storyteller. We also do have a Ben Soul. We also do have other different talented artists, and they're also saying that we'll also have a surprise artist. That might be Kate Oljobi. You never know. Just stick by, go to the event, and make sure you're waiting for the surprise artist. We realize that Kate and Jobi also do have voices that they can sing, and at the end of the day, that is what will be going down. We also do have Etana. Etana is also jet into the country. She is expected to perform in Nairobi this weekend, and things are looking good for the reggae fans. Personally, I enjoy a bit of reggae. Not really the best reggae fan. I listen to reggae music. I like to listen to music of all genres if it's actually jamming. But what is happening is that there is a company known as a Red Leaf. The Red Leaf is actually organizing this concert, which is known as the Pamoja Festival. Pamoja comes from the name Umoja. Umoja means unity, and I do want to applaud reggae music, because reggae music, most of the time you find it singing about unity.
Yeah.
Most of the time you'll find people really trying to connect people and bring them together. So I think reggae music, that is why it has also been embraced so much right here on the African continent. You will find for many radio stations that exist right here in Nairobi, they have to dedicate maybe about 3 or 4 hours each and every other day to make sure that they are playing people some reggae music, so that they can please their fans on it. So Pamoja Festival is going down, and of course this is bound to be big. You know, last year not many events were happening because of the COVID global pandemic. But I do believe these year things are going to be much better. I was just wondering between Kate and Ajobi, if you were to be given a ticket, there is one ticket for Etana, and there's another ticket for Omale. Which ticket would you be picking? You have to pick one.
That would be tricky. I love Etana, I love Omale, and
so you have to go to one event only.
You have to go for one. So choose.
Well,
Tricky pia.
Yeah, pick your poison.
Pick your pick.
Omale.
I mean, I'd go for Etana one day.
That's a job.
Vibes.
You go for Etana.
Reggae vibes.
The reggae vibes are right there. For me, I would also be confused. I will be giving my answer at the end of the show as we go. So that I have more time.
He needs an hour to think about it.
Right?
Yeah, I need like an hour to know what concert I will be going to among these particular two. I also understand there will be the other artists coming into Kenya. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Despite from Omale, Etana, we also have some other Nigerian artists, and so I was saying that actually it was reported that Nairobi is one of the biggest countries, not the biggest, but one of the countries in Africa that is
one of the cities
in Africa that is really good at marketing, and when it comes to parties and stuff. And I was saying earlier in the morning, like we've seen since I think July up to there, like July, August, so many artists are becoming in and out of Kenya. So it's quite clear that Kenya, in terms of turning up for an event, be it is your own person, from the 254 or from other African countries or from other places, like Kenyans are very good at representing representing and ensuring that you don't get disappointed.
Yeah, and it's on a Monday. It's on a Wednesday, but people are ready on a Friday. But
On a Friday,
with the family right here. I think we shall be adding on a segment every Friday to let the family what's going on over the weekend, and we shall also be updating people on events so that you can also turn up to one of these events.
NSG is also
And
coming.
NSG too.
Did they have an event over the weekend?
No, they have an event in 12th of December, and Manzemi, I'm turning up for that.
That's the Jamhuri Day. That's a vibe. That the Jamhuri Day will be really wonderful. Your people also turn up and also do go to enjoy the concert by them as well. Would be wonderful. Because we have had music from them. I know a couple of songs from them, and maybe perhaps as we go on with the show, we shall be just dropping one or two of those songs from them. I also do understand that Conde Boy is around, and that is a harmonizer. I'm not sure, but I understand he'll also be having a show very, very soon. The thing is, after the curfew was lifted, I think people now started getting agreement for the event. And I do hope that at the end of the day, people also do get to interact with the artists and also do get to enjoy the music. We were talking about sometimes about the music that is being made from the continent of Africa, and we are seeing right now there's a global interest in the music coming from Africa, whether be it the Afrobeat, whether be it the bongo sound, whether be it the Amapiano, which is all African music. There is an interest, from around the world. If you go to Sweden or if you go to even wherever you might go to, you will find people who wanted to jump to Afrobeats, and even in the UK, people really are embracing it.
One thing that I really loved, as much as we Kenyans were, accommodating these other artists, despite them also being African, rather from other countries. One thing that I loved is that even we Kenya, we've been supported in other countries because, like last weekend, there was a show in Dubai, which was staged. Shinsei, it was I think Shinsei, she was called in Dubai. Then we had Masauti, who is from the 254, and it's quite crazy. It's quite crazy how people really went mad and showed love unto the Kenyan music. So it's really quite amazing that we are also getting, as much as we are giving in, we are also receiving.
The reception of our music is getting better by the day, which is really, really wonderful. And of course, we shall be getting back a little bit into music. And when we come back, we shall be letting you know what's happening with Africa. They do say what are going Africa, or what's going on in Africa. And we shall be updating you on a few matters, on a few things happening from across the beautiful continent of Africa. And of course, we purpose to be objective. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and of course on the official website. It's www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. And once you are on there, please create your own profile. The name of the next jam is Dunda by the one and only Miss Nova. We hope that you keep it jamming with us on the Rhythm Scoop Show with the Blackout Fire Network. This is Blackout Fire Radio.
I'm a
That is the one and only Nova, Miss Nova. The name of the song is Dunda, and it's actually jamming right here on the Rhythm Scoop Show on the Black Hot Network of Media for the 21st century. We hope that you are doing well, and this particular day also finds you in good health. And apart from that, a whole lot of optimism and positivity in your life. We do serve you great hits and fresh vibes, and thank you so much for being with us on the broadcast. It's always a delight. We never won't take your company for granted. We hope that everything is well. And of course, for choosing the Black Hot Network, you are a real one. If you say you know the real ones, and when you share info with people, you also give them the opportunity really to embrace it, or really to just make the judgment of their own. So for today, we purpose to engage on different issues. One of them will be the Tigray conflict in Ethiopia. For a long time, this war has been going on for about over a year. And there has been a fighting of the TPLF, which has been fighting the federal government. The TPLF is the Tigray People Liberation Front, and they were actually demanding for their own. They have a couple of grievances. If you get to ask me, one of them is that last year they wanted to conduct their elections, but that was stopped by the federal government. They believe last year, that is when Ethiopia was supposed to conduct its elections, but it was pushed to this year. We know that after it was pushed to this year, Abiy Ahmed continued to win and continue to be the prime minister. But these elections that were held about 2 months ago were supposed to have been held last year at around August, September last year, but they were pushed with a year, and right now they did happen in September this year. And for the federal people, for the Tigray people, they believe that the time was done and they were supposed to have continued doing the elections, but that did not happen. So therefore, they continued keeping the same leaders, and even though they were agitated with these leaders, nothing really could happen. And I think that they went ahead to some extent. They also conducted their own elections without even regard to what the federal government was saying. And also, apart from that, they have also felt that they have not been well represented by the government, federal government. They believe that their people have been sidelined. When it comes to development matters, they have been sidelined. When it comes to recognition, and even when it comes to resource allocation, they have been sidelined by the federal government. And that is why the TPLF people were standing and fighting for the Tigrayena people. But that has not gone very, very well. There was an attack on one of the armies of the federal government. And there was also a retaliatory attack by the army, also attacking the TPLF, and then after that the whole fighting continued to happen. But right now there has been a call for the backing of a peace mission. There has been a call for the backing of a AU peace mission. This is the African Union peace mission, which is led by the former Nigerian president. His name is Olusegun Obasanjo. Right now he's working to have the African Union-led peace mission go into Ethiopia, and of course engage the parties, different factors, because we do say fighting really could not solve a lot of matters, but dialogue perhaps might. So I think what is happening right now is that the former president of Nigeria is known as Olusegun Obasanjo. He is working with the African Union to have the peace mission going into Ethiopia and trying to bring everyone to the table, because I believe these TPLF people, they do have their grievances, they do have the demands. The government also has its own ways, maybe perhaps its own terms that it wants to put, and the terms have to be listened to. And therefore, the only way perhaps people would be able to come to an agreement is really by having everyone else come onto the table and discuss these different matters. I do support this mission. I do support the peace, the peace mission that is supposed to be going into Ethiopia. And I do believe dialogue is a solution. In as much, I think Keton Hasho was talking about the bombing, the airstrikes that has been conducted by the federal government in these Tigray region. And this bombing might leave a lot of people dead for nothing. Some of them just innocent civilians, who have totally nothing to do with anything. They are just there, they were born. Even pregnant women, I understand there were pregnant women that have also lost their lives, expectant women that have lost their lives. And therefore, the only way perhaps people would move forward is also by having dialogue. And also apart from that, it has also been said by one of the ministers from Ethiopia that there are some foreign elements. They were saying that Egypt is also fueling this particular conflict. They were also saying that apart from Egypt, we also do have other foreign quote-unquote powers that are also fueling this conflict. Because you might ask yourself, where do the TPLF get their weapons from? Where do they get their equipment from? And you realize they are not getting the equipment from the federal government. So there are other different channels, for example, maybe perhaps through Eritrea, or maybe perhaps through Djibouti, or maybe perhaps even through from Egypt, where these weapons might also be brought in the country so they can fuel these fighting. Another matter that has also come out is that this fighting is going on so that they can disrupt the construction of the Grand Renaissance Dam. Of course, the ground in Isis Dam is supposed to make Ethiopia become energy sufficient. You know, we will be producing energy and electricity for this particular country, and therefore they can be able to move into an industrialized position. They can become an industrial hub for the Horn of Africa. But because of the dispute that has been there between Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt, all of them, the three countries, do use the water from the River Nile, and this dam is being constructed on the River Nile. So it is said that Egypt does not want the continuation of this construction, and therefore that is why they might also want to support the conflict in this country, because when there is conflict, there cannot be any development or the construction of anything in this country. But at the same time, Ethiopia went to the table and said it's ready for anything. But for me, I would say if it's ready for anything, it would really rather be ready for dialogue and having bring on these fighting elements on the table, or fighting factions really on the table to discuss the way forward. I don't know what your thoughts are on the same. Maybe Kate and Toby. Anyone would?
For me, I think first, did you say it's Nigerians coming to help the Ethiopians?
No. I'm saying this is the African Union. We do have the African Union. Of course, the African Union has its headquarters in Ethiopia, but the African Union has 54. It has different member states. So they can also put together not really a task force. They can put together like a commission that will now go and look into one problem that is happening in an African country. It's not Nigeria that is coming for them, it's just the African Union, but that is being led by the former president of Nigeria.
I think this is a great move for me, but personally we know that still the African Union is still being supported by the white people and stuff. So I can't say, as much as they are doing a great job and ensuring that the peace of African people really matters, to also, it's just like ensuring the safety of even other African countries. Like in terms, the fight right now is going on in Tigray. We also have Nigeria, which is also lacking peace in its own way. So it is a great move where you can start solving solutions within your own continent. But again, we know we're still being supported either way, which is quite a conflict, and we still have to rely on a lot of resources. Rather, we have to listen to so many other people, which is the white people, the colonies and stuff, for us to buy ideas from them. That is what is really happening. That is what I'm really trying to connect the dots, because as much as yes, they're going to be helped in every way, I still think we're not that strong enough. We still need reliance. That is what we are.
What we should be working is African countries coming on board and supporting other African countries. That is the kind of support we would need from internally, not even from the outside. But of course, there was also an element of some lack of humanity, because it's understood that the TPLF had blocked humanitarian aid being taken into their region. So therefore, why would you stop maybe a UN, not even a UN truck, but whatever other kind of a truck? I will not even go with UN, because I know UN is trying to do some humanitarian work, and I know also the UN is not really any good. But why would they also stop, food from being taken to those areas where people are in hunger? Because you talked about drought and famine in these areas. And also for them to be in this situation is because the farmers were not able to continue with their farming. It was disrupted by the fighting. There is no, you're trying to farm in your farm, and you grow in maize, and then there is airstrikes, and you're still there waiting for your farm, waiting for your maize to grow, and then you harvest. You will not be there. You will leave it. You will not even maybe perhaps irrigate it if there was the need for irrigation or watering it, or even taking care of your crop, and therefore it will actually go to waste. And then the next year, you have missed maybe one planting season and also a harvesting season. So you will not tell me that next year you still have food. You will have that food shortage, and that is what has happened with the Tigray region. I do believe that this conflict should be looked into. I know the Prime Minister, his name is Abiy Ahmed. Ironically, Abiy Ahmed was given a Nobel Peace Prize, which is funny, because how do you have a Nobel Peace Prize and your country is in chaos and you are the one leading these chaos? And also I do know that that is just a thing that you're given by these Europeans. But at the end of the day, we should be looking internally to find solutions. I don't know what your thoughts are on the same page.
Yeah, I've been talking about Ethiopia and Tigray and war for the longest time now. But attacking people with airstrikes isn't the solution. They should sit down and try and come up with a solution for this war, because the moment you start attacking each other with airstrikes or fighting back towards each other, that will not end the war. It will make the war to continue.
Escalate them,
So also African countries should come and try to see what is happening in Ethiopia and try help them to solve the war or to solve the issues, so that Ethiopia will the peace will come back.
I think that is what should be happening because, for example, for the Southern African Development Corporation, when there was a problem with Mozambique, although for Mozambique it's quite of a different case. In Mozambique there was a Islamic insurgents, and the Southern African Development Corporation came up and said we shall be sending some troops, some of them from Rwanda, I think others from other different Southern African countries, to go and fight the Islamic militants in Mozambique, which is a good move. But right now in Ethiopia, it's a different case because it's not like they are getting attacked by Islamic militants. It's an internal kind of a war because they are fighting. It's the federal government fighting the TPLF, and the TPLF, of course, they are also Ethiopians. You cannot say that the TPLF are not Ethiopians. It's an internal civil war going on right there, and of course that might also spiral into Eritrea because Eritrea is also very, very close to the Tigray region, and maybe even also into, for example, Sudan. You know, most of the people have run from Ethiopia. They have found their way into Sudan. That is why they are seeking refuge in Sudan. In Sudan also, things are really not also any better. Sorry?
Also in Sudan, there is no peace.
Yeah, there is no peace in Sudan. So you're moving from a country where it's, it's havoc, and then moving to another country where it's also double havoc. And it's very, very sad to see what's happening out there. So I do believe, yes, the African Union might also intercept or might also try and intervene, and also by the peace mission that is also being led by the former president of Nigeria, Mr. Obasanjo. We hope that they will also be able to impact this particular place and find a meaningful solution to the ending of this war. We shall be taking a short music break. When we come back, we do have some wonderful updates also from Kate and Zobi right here on the Black Hot Fan Network. The name of the next jam is For You by the one and only Paul Raj, featuring a Crown Prince all the way from Lusaka, Zambia. We hope that you enjoy the music. Keep it locked. This is a Rhythm Scoop Show. This is Black Hot Fan Radio. This is Black Hot Fan Radio. This is Black Hot Fan Radio. and that is Paul Raja on a song for you, all the way from Zambia. That sounds like a gospel song you would hear from some of these churches when you're going about.
I know, I almost said that.
The guitar, really the guitar, but
I'm just listening to the keyboard.
It's a love song from Zambia, and that is Lusaka Zambia from PSC Productions. We also do have a Crown Prince on there as well. And we excited that you are with us on the broadcast for today. This is the Rhythm Scoop Show on the Blackout Financial. Karibuni sana. Welcome back to the broadcast as we get to discuss different issues taking place on the African continent. Before we get into such, before we get back in those matters, I want to give us an update on what is happening with the 254 right here. There have been a matter that you have been focusing on. This has to do with the increase in the fees for universities. Right now, the High Court has actually halted the increase of school fees for the Nairobi University until there is further consultation by different stakeholders. You know, the parents, the students, the other different stakeholders in the Ministry of Education itself, because you cannot just wake up and one day start increasing our fees and consistently keep on increasing the fees. The cost of living has become very, very high, especially for Kenya, for Kenyans from around the country. We also do have other different items such as fuel. You know, the prices of fuel also going very, very high. But for the wages and salaries, they have not increased. So you're still stuck on the same wages and salaries, but the fees are being increased. The fuel prices are being increased. The price of commodities is going high. So it means that this is unattainable. You cannot really have that continued or sustained increase in prices without people fighting back. So this is actually a good situation, because the High Court has actually said that they should halt the increase in the fees for these students. You find some cases, some students might even stay in school for a 4-year course, then they're taking like 6 years, 7 years because of these kinds of interaction.
That's really amazing, because we have spoken about this some time back, and we've seen also, students did get to strike about that matter, because most of them, you find, if my parent is not capable of paying school fees for me, I have to go out of my way because I have a dream to achieve. Despite me having a degree or a diploma, I'm not going to get employed, but I just want to have the certificates, We've seen so many people strive so hard to finish their education, but after you're done with your course, you don't get education, because there's matters of corruption. We have the matters of people being picky, tribalism and stuff, where you have to fit in a situation. So that is really amazing, and a good make that the government has really, or rather the court has really made.
They have stopped them from increasing. Go on now, okay.
It is on this show. I was talking about a man who was willing to sell his kidney to pay for his brother's school fee. That's how things are bad to get school fee, and you can see this. These people wake up one day and decide the tuition fee we are increasing the tuition fee every now and then, and the students were also striking about the same thing. The students have been striking about
what
the
is
same.
even worse about it is that despite even students striking, yesterday I was mentioning that lecturers have even striked, So I'm wondering, why is it that the government itself has to raise so many school fees, or raise the charge of fees, yet your own employees themselves are not even getting enough payment, where they even have to strike? It is a year where they complain that they have not been paid for over a year. So it doesn't even make sense, like literally, completely.
You are increasing the tuition fee, yet you can't even pay the teachers. You're not paying the teachers. It is very crazy, but I'm happy the court has get into the matter here and has stopped that, and we hope that it will fully stop, because the court gets in the matter, and then after some few days you hear then the court is no longer talking about the issue, so the tuition fee has to be raised, and you can do nothing about that. You'll just have to pay the fee.
But I guess this is the time that you have to be considerate, you have to get considerate, because we know the matters of economy were affected due to the pandemic, and of course people were trying to make it like the new normal. And I do believe since last year till now, you find that there are people who are still confused in the midst of everything, like how am I going to manage the fees? I have to pay this. Some people, maybe salaries even went down, others did get to lose their job, so you have to acquire something different for you to earn a surviving, which is quite crazy. But I do hope that they're going to settle that. But let me move on to the matters that I have for you. Still on the 254, there is a case that has been ongoing of a young girl aged 21 who was killed by some British soldiers. That was in 2012. And the worst thing is, I remember there's a time we were speaking about, actually it was last week, we were speaking about these Momo people who went to, was it UK? To go fight for their rights, rather to require for their rights, Was it in UK?
Yeah, there was.
It was. So I was asking myself when I saw this story, and of course the parents of this young lady also were asking the same. They said if it was a person who killed, rather the daughter who had killed a white man, the case will not, they wouldn't even know where the daughter is right now. Even the prison she was taken right now should either be killed, or maybe the matter, they will not even bear to listen to them, or rather listen to the lady. But because this a white man was killed, a black girl, the case has not been resolved till to date. And she left behind a young lady. So they are saying that the family of a Kenyan woman allegedly killed by a British soldier in 2012 have told the BBC of their anger and despair that no one has yet been convicted of her murder. The UK Defence Ministry says it has been incorporating with Kenya to inquire that Agnes Wanjiru's death following allegations were covered up. Her body was found in a septic tank at a hotel in central Kenya nearly 3 months after she had spent an evening partying with the soldiers. The 21-year-old had left home. She went to become a stripper because, still the matters of surviving. She became a hooker, let me just say her hooker, for her to keep up with her baby's needs and stuff. But one night she went out with the soldiers, the British soldiers who were in Kenya, and the next day she was found dead. But the issue is that they have not yet resolved the issue, and this is because there is a white person. So this is what I was talking about, where we've seen that there is lack of justice, especially to the black people. If you get to happen to do something to a white person, this is going to be seriously hell of a chaos, But because there is a black person who has been killed, no one is bothering to solve the issue, not even the government of Kenya itself. As much as she was a hooker, she was trying to earn a living. That is what she does, We also have other strippers, so I was talking about, they need also to be protected in a way, They also deserve to be protected in a way, because there's no way I have to lose my life over me doing my job or trying to make a living just because there's a white man, then he escapes freely because of that, which is really crazy. And I do hope that this family, they do get justice as it is supposed to be given.
The justice system in Kenya is flawed. If you get to ask me, I think it really favors people who do have money. It also favors white people. It also favors the people who do have top connections at the end of the day. So therefore, I'm not really surprised about this particular story. But also on the other end, you do find black young girls thinking that if you find a Mzungu, then you're medicine like you have a ticket. I'm not blaming her for being in this situation. But nonetheless, I do hope that the wheels of justice do get rolled and also serve the family justice for this particular family. Moving a little bit further from that, I wanted us to take us all the way into Nigeria, in Kano State. And in Kano State, things have become too bad in Kano State. There is a man who put up himself for sale, and he was going around the street saying that he's selling. He put up a board. He put a placard on himself saying, "This man is for sale for 20 million naira." And the Islamic police in Kano State, known as a Hisba, have arrested the 26-year-old man. His name was Aliyu Idris, who was trending on social media last week for putting himself up for sale due to poverty. And so I'm just wondering,
why would they arrest him?
Because it's illegal. You cannot sell human beings. You cannot sell people.
Okay.
Yeah, selling himself.
Yeah, you're selling yourself. You're property of the state. If you didn't know, you're actually property of the state.
Okay, I'm the property of the government.
So the government, you're selling property that is not even yours.
I'm not your property. You don't care about me. You don't feed me.
Under this government, you are actually a property of the state. That is why when people in prison, they also do write on their garments a property of the state, and you think that is a joke. But what is happening is that I was just asking myself, so you're selling yourself. So who's supposed to get the money once you sell yourself? Yeah, because you're not getting the money yourself. The owner, you're the product, so the owner of the product is supposed to get the money.
Person who buys you just takes you, gives out the money to whoever.
So who are you giving the money to?
I think
it's
the
also
family.
crazy. But the man is a tailor, and the police did say yes, we arrested him on Tuesday, and he spent the night with us. So what he did was forbidden in Islam. You can try to sell yourself, no matter your condition or situation. The arrested tailor, who had been speaking to local journalists before his arrest, said he was in a huge financial mess, hence his decision to put a 20 million naira, which is about $49,000, a price tag on his person, promising wholeheartedly to serve his buyer. People now want to put themselves under slavery. So apart from selling themselves, they also want to give to wholeheartedly serve whomever buys them.
I think
Legal
there's like
division is
Squid
crazy.
Game where you have to bet your life on money, you know, like
No,
you
this is he really is looking for a slave master. He's looking for a slave
and that
master
is
who
what
can
I
afford
was
him.
saying. I was saying that if the Squid Game was to be introduced in the African country, especially
So many people will
specifically
do it.
Africa, you know, so many people will turn themselves in and try this particular game because so many people have so many debts to pay. You have loans and stuff, which is so crazy.
And
Yes.
also greed.
And greediness.
Right.
Supposedly, apparently, this man has nothing really to look forward to. So the only thing he has to look forward to is getting someone he can serve and get $49,000 or $50,000, which is 50 grand, like 20 million naira, which is crazy because you cannot put a value, you cannot put an amount on the life of someone. You cannot say that this child is worth 50,000. You cannot say that this adult is worth 200,000. That is really not how it works because you cannot put a value on human life. And even when people do get to die, you cannot really say we are compensating them for this amount of money because you're not bringing them back. And a human value is a human life is, you cannot put a value on it. It's priceless. Nonetheless, I do hope that more people do learn. In Nigeria, it seems like things have become very tough. You know, for anyone to want to sell themselves.
But it might, of course, things are tough because there was a time that the markets were locked up because they couldn't conduct any, you know, the markets are not allowed to do any kind of services rather to operate their operations normally because of the lack of peace in the country, the matters of abductions. So anyone will do anything right now to just save their lives and get themselves out of debt. Because if I have Kate's debt and she comes to my call, or rather she's calling me all the time, you know, I need my money, I need my money, you know.
No, you can as well throw that phone in the river.
That's
You can as well throw that phone in the river. But I was just saying, I remember of a situation where people were talking about selling their organs, you know, selling a liver, selling the part, or selling the kidney, and selling other different organs of their body. And I was just wondering, has it gotten to that particular situation where it's that bad? Someone wants to sell their kidney so that they can make some money. And you know, it's bad. The government of Nigeria is really, you know, should look into the affairs of the people and the welfare of the people to make sure that people are not getting to this particular level. Because from there, you might also now hear the suicide rates going up. You know, people taking away their lives because they are not really able to provide for themselves. They are not even really able to pay their debts.
Or
and
even
also,
turn themselves. I heard that, I don't know if this is fiction or maybe if it's true, but I heard if you got yourself into Al-Shabaab, then you end up dying when you're in Al-Shabaab. If you get to lose your life, the Al-Shabaab people have to give money to your people after your death. So you'll find that even most people can turn themselves into some certain crimes, you know, because I'm going to lose my life or maybe something may happen to me, then let me hustle for my family, you know, for them to get out of this situation.
It's crazy. It's crazy the things people will do to get out of poverty, and also, you know, they will put themselves in a difficult situation. Getting to join the Al-Shabaab or these are the militant groups, you are promised money, you are promised, you know, protection and all these are different kinds of things, but they will take you out there and they will have you murdered, and then nothing might even happen, you know, and you have lost your lives. And I was saying there is no money, or you cannot put money on human life. You know, there is no value. You can say they are valuable, they are worth this much. But nonetheless, I'm moving a little bit further from that. I also want to stick with Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have talked about the return of the Benin bronzes. Some people might ask why are the bronzes are not being taken back to Benin, because we do have Benin, which is really close to Nigeria. But when during colonialism, we did not have Benin and Nigeria. That was just the same region. We don't even have. It was just connected as one. We don't even, I believe, we don't even have Niger. But now we do have Niger, we do have Nigeria, and we do have Benin. But they are one and the same people. So in those days, we used to have the Benin. We didn't have a place known as a Benin. But there has been the gradual and the slow return of Benin bronzes. These were artifacts stolen from West Africa. They were taken by the Europeans, most of them taken to London, others taken into other different parts of Europe, Germany, France, and every other place. And they were looted from Africa. You will find some of them being bronze, some of them were golden artifacts, and some of them were sculptures are made in different styles of art. And they were even looted from houses of nobles in West Africa. You will find a West African leader, like the chief or the equivalent of a king, really their houses getting raided by these colonizers, and their property being stolen and then being taken into Europe, some of them being molten gold, bronze, and other different items.